For centuries, art had clear purpose in society. It served religion, it served kings, it served power, beauty, and luxury. Artists knew who they were painting for. And now suddenly everything is changing. Welcome back to yet another episode of In Dialogue with Art, and today we continue our Western art movement's journey after Rococo. Till now, artists had stability. Churches commissioned them, kings protected them, aristocrats wanted portraits and mythology. So here, artists know their value. But by late 1700s, Europe begins to change rapidly. The French Revolution changes the political system. Ideas like individuality, nationalism, and freedom, they suddenly matters. Industrialization enters. Machines are replacing handmade craftsmanship. Transportation sector is developing. So the world now feels smaller, faster, and modern. Art could not stay untouched by it. Because A, artists are no longer protected as they once were. B, they had to survive on their own, sell their own work, compete in a society which is more industrial and machine-driven. And then photography was discovered. If camera can capture reality perfectly, what exactly is the role of painting now? Here artists, they stopped copying. They knew it is time for meaning, for evoking emotions and imaginations. But interestingly, the first reaction to all this chaos was not emotional rebellion, rather it was control. So right in the middle of all this confusion comes Neoclassicism, roughly from late 1700s to early 1800s. Now you remember what comes before this? Rococo. It was more softer in color, romantic and elegant. But we already know that outside palaces revolution is happening. So artists, they reacted, and this reaction gave rise to Neoclassicism. So basically Europe wanted seriousness again, discipline again, heroism again. That's why neoclassical artists, they looked back at ancient Greek and Roman art. So artists like Jacques Louis David started creating more political paintings. For example, this painting of Napoleon crossing Alps. So here Napoleon on this powerful horse climbing upwards and his finger pointing forward fearlessly. So if you look closely, this pose is inspired by Roman imperial sculpture. So here this painting is not trying to show you the exact reality, but trying to create an image of ideal leader. This is exactly Neoclassicism. Artists like John Auguste Dominic Ingres push it even further by polished surface, perfect anatomy and controlled composition. And now again, artists started feeling restricted because as humans, we are not logical but also emotional. So this emotional rebellion gave rise to Romanticism, especially after the fall of Napoleon in 1815 till the Franco-Prussian War in 1870. If Neoclassicism was about control, Romanticism was more about feelings. Artists like Theodore Géricault, Eugene Delacroix, J.M.W. Turner, they filled their paintings with tragedy, glowing skies, violent seas, and emotional chaos. So their paintings were all about emotional experience rather than controlled perfection. So the themes taken up for paintings were all consensuous. They were based on poems depicting chivalry and courage by famous poets such as Shakespeare, Tasso, and Dante. Subjects chosen were deep, thoughtful, emotional, pitiful, and of craving respect. That was Romanticism. Not at all heroic, but emotional human in all chaos.